Hi brothers and sisters, back for another video. This will be a short one for 8th Day Dawning. It's a topic that we might go into deeper conversation on. I'm not 100% sure yet. But we'll read this verse right here. It is, oh, what verse was it? Oh, okay, I left. It is here. It says, "But woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees and hypocrites, for ye shut up the kingdom of heaven against people. For ye neither go in yourselves, neither suffer them that are entering to go in." So, it takes us back to those verses that says, "You mar my path before me. You prevent me from entering in," right? Well, what was it that got built in the way? Well, it would appear to be an image that got stuck in the way. Romans 14, verse 13, "Therefore let us not judge one another anymore, but rather determine this, not to put an obstacle or a stumbling block in another person's way." Well, I'm going to tell you they did put a stumbling block in that pathway, and it is the way. All right? It is the way to heaven. It is not an image. And that's what they stuck in the way. They stuck an image in the way, is what they did. So people became in love with an image and not in love with the way. That's the problem. And we get those passages where Jesus says, "I am the way." No, he's not. Jesus is the idol of Baal that men constructed in the way to prevent others from entering in the way. We're told Joshua in the Old Testament is this. Right here. "And the Lord said to Satan," which is another name for Adam, "The Lord rebukes you. Indeed, the Lord who has chosen Zion rebukes you. Is not this a man, a firebrand snatched from the fire, from the burning?" So that's Joshua. That's our real male image in the Old Testament. But it's not an image again. It's just Joshua. And he found the way. He wasn't God. All right? He was a man who found the way. The correct way. And so the question then becomes, okay, well, they'll say, "Keep your eye on the ball, keep your eye on the ball." And what they mean is keep your eye on Jesus, is what they mean. You got your eye off of the way, and you got your eye on an image that's preventing many others from entering the way, the correct way. What's the way? The way of God. "I will lead you in pathways that you have not known." Well, you wouldn't follow her because she's the wrong image. You won't follow her, even though she is considered the Holy One and the restrainer on earth. And what does she say? "And it's not me sticking her here, she's here." Isaiah 42, verse 14, "I have long time holding my peace. I've been still and restrained myself." Refrained. Restrained, it's the same word, myself. "Now will I cry like a travailing woman. I will destroy and I will devour at once. I will make waste mountains and hills, and I will dry up their herbs, and I will make the rivers islands, and I will dry up the pools, and I will bring the blind by a" what? "A way that they knew not. I will lead them in paths that they have not known. I will make darkness light before them, and crooked things straight." So the crooked path, that crooked way, they stuck a man in the way and said, unless you bow to that image and you get washed in that blood which is staining you, not cleaning you, he's stuck in the way. That's right. That's the image stuck in the way. Baal began the building by Nebuchadnezzar of an image of a man as your Lord and God. And you've all turned to focus on the image of a man as God instead of looking at God's pathway. And we're everyone guilty of it, aren't we? We're all guilty of it. So it says, you don't follow the image. You follow the pathway of truth. That's what you follow. But you know what? You dismiss this one right here. You dismiss the Holy One of Israel because she's female. She's the wrong image. She's just not the right image. But she's not standing in your way either. She's trying to lead you in the pathway of truth, much like Joshua did. Joshua was pointing you to the way. He wasn't pointing you to himself, going, oh, it's about me, male, me. You better bow down. Worship me as God. That way I, as a man, Baal, can write all the laws I want and yoke you under me, and I can steal your goods, and you're going to shut your mouth and you're going to let me do it. And yet it was these Pharisees preventing them from entering in the way. See, man has fell in love with an image. Woman, his harlot, Baal, because he's Baal, she's Baal too, which means she allows him to rule over her. That's the idea of the word Baal, married wife, in Isaiah 54:1. She's allowed this religious idol to rule. That's right. She is not in love with the way. He is not in love with the way. They're in love with an image that says, you're forgiven. If you do nothing else, that's all you need to do. That's it. Be washed in blood. You do not need to follow the way. No. Nope. And yet, God says, follow the way. It is the way of truth that you must follow. And you know what they did? They marred my path before me. They stuck a man image. A male idol began by Nebuchadnezzar. And every successive kingdom after that continued to build on that male image, where at the end we see the stone representing the daughters of Israel smashing the 10 toes on that false image, because a man is not your good, but he's stuck in your way. He's not your God. I said good. He's not your God. He's just standing in your way, the pathway. So do you really think the gateway, which we know belongs to her, Song of Songs, we know it's up to her to open the gate. Do you really think these daughters of Israel in charge of the gates are going to open the gates and let you pass out believing in an image as opposed to the way of God? Because she's not going to open the gate. She's not. The consumption has been decreed on Babylon's children. They're in love with an image. They are not in love with the truth. They are not in love with the way of God. They are in love with a man. And that was never God's way. God says, you follow my way. It is not the image. And you are too busy being in love with an image, saying he. And then it tries to say, well, Jesus is no respecter of person. Oh, he wasn't? Sure he was. He was a Baal. He was built up by men, the things in his mouth. Father, I am the only begotten Son. He picked 12 male disciples, and he was no respecter of person? Of course he was. They wrote all the words into his mouth, making him a respecter of person. And yes, he has elements of Joshua that you have to slowly pick out and say, well, no, these are Joshua's way. And what did God promise Joshua? Joshua, if you walk and uphold my way, my laws, I'll give you power over my courts. I will give you place to walk amongst these daughters, these Zions, that you are walking amongst now, because you have walked in the way, my way. It's not about believing in a man. He don't save you. It is walking in the way. And he tried to point you that. And what did the men of Baal do? They built an image and said, you'll bow to a man, and his blood is what you've got to have to be washed clean to enter in. No, you do not. They marred your path before you. They set a stumbling block up in front of your face and prevented those who would enter in from entering in. That's what they did. And that is the way of God. The pathway of truth is how you live your life. And that gets addressed again and again. And so when you throw up this idea that a woman is going to lead you in a pathway, their immediacy is to say, no, that's not true, it's a man. No, it ain't. They're showing you the way. It's not to do with the gender. It's to do with the way and not any other thing. So my phone's ringing. So that was basically it. I had a few other things that I wanted to include, and I'm speaking loud because I know there's going to be a message. So I appreciate you watching. I hope you all have a really nice day, and I hope you're blessed with an abundance of truth. And thanks.